questions first, and then we will open up to live Q&A. To qualify for the playoffs, X10 will have to secure a win against Ascend in the next round. How difficult do you think that will be, considering Ascend are one of the best teams in Europe?
I think the main point for us is we just need to play like how we scrim. And it was a difficult task when we played against Envy. So I don't think it's hard if we're able to pull out the executes we prepared and the strats we used in scrim. So I don't think it's going to be hard if we are able to convert our strats into the game.
Thank you. We can now open the floor to live questions and answers from the journalists. So please use the Zoom hand raise feature. We have One Tap Valorant.
Hi, man. How tough was it going into this game facing previous finalists? Did you have any doubts mentally, and were you stressed out at all or panicked?
No. To be honest, we really like that we played against the top teams, like the one that got into the the championship, because it will show that what we are lacking, and it will show what we're good at as well. So it was like to mark where we are in terms of how we play the game. So there was no pressure, but then it was a bit sad where we couldn't convert the rounds just like what we did in scrims. Yep.
Thank you, man.
Pedro Romero, The Click.
Hello, Cruz. This is sort of a tie-in to the previous question. You mentioned how you couldn't play up to the standard that you showed in scrims, and so exactly what happened within those within the series that led you to believe that which led you to believe that?
It was because in the first map, I was pressured by Ye, and they got a pick off early for me, like most of the rounds on defender, and it was hard for our team to execute when I wasn't there in the execute, because normally I would be the one to start out the execute and entry to the bomb site, but then me getting picked off really took a toll for the team, and it made the flow of the game different when compared to when we scrim. So it was my fault where I wasn't aware of the pushes, and I died plenty of times in the first map. But then in the second one, it was just our trading wasn't as good.
Next question from One Esports.
Hey, Cruz. I just wanted to ask, like, last time we spoke was in Masters Reykjavik, and you told me back then that the quality of practice partners in Southeast Asia wasn't up to par compared to North America and Europe. I just wanted to ask, has this improved, the quality of practice partners in your region improved since then?
It improved a bit, but if to compare to NA in Europe, it's totally a different. It's like a different picture. Like, it is just better here. Like, everything is well prepared. The scrims website, how we book scrims here, the teams here. It is still better here, but then we still got better scrims back in SEA by scrimming with the Chinese teams. They were really good. And before coming here, the scrims were a bit better than what we used to have, because we scrimmed with a lot of Chinese teams and a bit of Korean teams. Yep.
Pedro Romero, The Click.
since the first round of games in the group stage has finished, I'd like to know your thoughts on SEA's performance thus far in Champions. What with you guys, Team Secret and Full Sense have already finished performing your first series. Did it go about the way in which you expected it to go, or was it far beyond that?
To be honest, both of the Thai teams, I think we could have done a lot better. We could have showed a better gameplay in both teams. I think we're not up to par where we couldn't really show our full potential yet. But then I think Team Secret did a really good job compared to us. We are still lacking. And I hope this doesn't happen against our next opponent. And I just hope to do our best.
One tap Valorant.
Picking up 7 and 8 rounds against Envious is still a pretty good accomplishment. How much of a confidence boost does that give you going up against Ascend in the elimination rounds?
To be honest, it doesn't give us any confidence boost because we think we could have done a lot better. If I played my normal game, we could have gone a map early and the results would be different. Like I was off in the first game. So it's quite hard on me right now, but I just think that we should just focus on how we play against Ascend, and I don't think there's anything to worry because if we get to play our game, then I think we'll actually beat them.
I wish you luck as well.
Thank you.
Pedro Romero.
Did the fact that you played your series against Envy in a closed facility / quarantine factor into the defeat?
Could you repeat the question? It kind of cut off.
Okay, that's fine. Was the fact that you played in quarantine alongside your team instead of in the studio play into the defeat against Envy?
To be honest, no, because it wasn't much of a difference, but it was just our gameplay that wasn't on par to what we did in practice. That was the main point where we didn't do well as we expected to.
Awesome. Thank you, Cruz. That's all the time we have for questions. And journalists, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.